Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. Thank you for joining me. My light's going a little bit funny. Just one second. Hopefully that'll be a bit better. All right, lovelies. How are you all going? I hope you're well. So last night I went to a concert. It was an Eminem concert, and something interesting happened for me. One of the songs that I used to love. He performed one of the songs that I used to love. It's a duet that he does with Rihanna, and it's called "Love the Way You Lie." So he performed it with Skylar Grey, and what came up for me was the realization that what I used to view as a love song, I now realize is highly toxic song, and that demonstrates trauma bonding. So I'm going to put the link to the song and the clip and the lyrics into the comments for anyone who wants to have a little look at that. But I thought it would be a good chance to have a chat about trauma bonding. So before I start, just quickly, please remember, if you like any of my videos, to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends would be fantastic. All right, so trauma bonding. Let's just explain what it is first of all. So trauma bonding occurs in abusive relationships, and it is a bond that is formed purely through trauma. So when there is acts of violence, neglect, kind of chaos, drama, high stress, those kind of situations, what happens is it triggers off this hormonal reaction in the brain and in the body. So some chemical reactions and then peptide reactions. I'm just going to try and keep it really basic layman's terms, so that no one gets confused on what I'm saying. But I've got some notes and we'll go through them. So, all right. So the hormones and chemicals that go through the body when you are in love. So we've got endorphins, oxytocin, which is called the love hormone, and it creates that sense of bonding. It is prevalent when we have been sexually intimate with someone. It's that kind of afterglow, that that really kind of warm, intimate, close feeling that we get when we are connected with someone sexually. And then we have dopamine, which creates a sense of craving and wanting the other person. The problem is that in a healthy relationship, there's a time and a place for everything. And in a healthy relationship, these kind of hormones are present, and that's fine. But what happens in an abusive relationship, due to the kind of push and pull, the nature of the relationship, so the fighting, the 1 minute fighting, then making up, this kind of thing, what happens is, to the brain, it feels like love is not safe. I mean, love isn't safe. With a narcissist or a psychopath or a sociopath, love isn't safe. Love is not stable, it's not secure, and it certainly isn't safe. And the body knows this. So what it starts to do is actually kind of double up on certain hormones. So when you're dealing with stress, oxytocin will calm you down. So you'll get a double kind of hit of oxytocin, which in turn makes you feel like you're in love with the person who's making you stressed, putting you through high levels of stress. So although the body's trying to help you by giving you this, extra burst of chemicals, in actual fact, it is making you more addicted to the person who is abusing you, which makes it harder to escape. So, so what they say is that for someone who's in an abusive relationship with the narcissist, what they say is that the relationship is consistently in a state of kind of breakup. So for normal healthy relationships, when we have a breakup, we have influx of chemicals, emotions, stress, etc. But for the person involved with the narcissist, that happens on a daily basis. It is far too much stress for anyone to deal with. It's not healthy, and even if you think that you're dealing with it, you're actually putting your body under a huge amount of stress. It cannot deal with this stuff. It actually starts shutting down. You start not being able to fight off illnesses. You start getting sick. Oh, the rain's starting. Cyclone Uma's happening somewhere up the coast, but the rain's coming, which is good. We need the rain. But your body actually becomes addicted. This is the problem. The body actually gets addicted to not only the person but also to the abuse. Because when you are living in a war zone, which is essentially what it's like being in a relationship with a narcissist, they're either loving you, and so you're getting all your hits of your oxytocin and your high on love, or that they are abusing and devaluing you, and you're walking around on eggshells, so anxious and so stressed, waiting for the next reaction or the next insult or the next argument to start. And so your body has these extreme highs and lows, extreme adrenaline rushes. And as I said, when you're tiptoeing around, waiting for the next abuse to happen, when it doesn't happen and he decides to be nice to you, the rush of chemicals that you get, the rush of hormones that you get, and the relief that comes over your whole body, that is really addictive. You don't realize it until you're away from it, just how addictive it is. So your body actually becomes your own worst enemy. And I'm not sure, but I think that narcissists have figured this stuff out. That's why they do it. That's why they do the controlling, the manipulation, the gaslighting, where they're always kind of screwing with your head, confusing you, making you unsure and doubting yourself, and why they do intermittent reinforcement, which is intermittent loving. So they're not loving all the time. They're just loving occasionally. So what happens is that you will work extra hard to try and get that love back. Even though it wasn't love in the first place, it was an act of love. You don't know that, though, when you're with them. All you know is that you want that feeling that you had when when you first were together, that love bombing stage. You want that back so badly, and you'll work so hard to get it. You don't realize the effort that it takes to be with a narcissist. You're always having to work hard to give them energy, give them what they want to get what you need, which is just, to be feeling safe, to feel loved, and to feel secure. But as I said, narcissists don't ever allow you to feel safe or secure. You always are constantly trying to work for it. And as I said, the intermittent reinforcement. So occasionally they'll be nice. Occasionally they'll be good loving. Occasionally they'll let you feel really good about yourself and the relationship. Just enough so you're on the hook. They don't want you to pack up and leave. They want you to be a willing sacrifice, to be giving them your life force and energy, on the daily basis. They want you to stay for that. But they also want to keep you primed. So like I said, they create the trauma. They set up an environment, for example, where you are isolated and alone. You have no support structures. You have no one around you. This is what helps create a trauma bond. So, for example, just say, for example, your boyfriend decides to slap you around a bit. Now, if you have your girlfriends around you, if you have, you still talk to your parents and you have a good relationship with your parents, you'll get on the phone, you'll go to your parents, they'll say, absolutely no way, you cannot be with a man who's going to do this. But if you've been isolated from your girlfriends, and if he's managed to put a wedge in between you and your family so you don't have them to call and to have a reality check, to have someone actually be on your side and tell you you deserve better, if you don't have those things, what will happen is you will run back to the very person who abused you for comfort. So you will actually go to them for comfort, because you've been wounded. You've been physically hurt, you've been scared, you're upset, your whole world is starting to crumble because it's all of a sudden, he's laid hands on you, now you have to leave. And what happens? You go to the very person who did all of that and you give them the opportunity to sweet talk you and to convince you to stay. And because you're so primed, as I said, with the chemicals and the trauma bonds, you're so primed for the chemical hit. When he starts being nice to you again and starts to comfort you, all of a sudden all the good loving chemicals and all of that washes over your body. And it's such a relief. And everything's okay again. We can go back to where it was. We can just pretend this never happened. It was silly. We don't worry about it. It was just such a stupid thing. Why did we let that happen? It's okay. We'll just start again. And that's how it happens. And that becomes a cycle and a pattern. When you have dysfunctional people who don't have healthy, relationship skills, when you've got people that are like the narcissistic or, as I said, sociopathic, psychopathic, who are predators, who deliberately prey on people like they do, that puts you in a highly volatile situation. It makes you vulnerable to abuse, and puts you in a situation where you become physically addicted to the abuse, purely because of the hormones that flood your brain and flood your body. These hormones come from fear, they come from stress, they come from love, they come from seeking and wanting and needing validation and, wanting to bond with another person, seeking comfort. All of those really human and normal reactions are actually what trauma bonds you to a person. Now, getting away from someone when you're trauma bonded to them, and when the trauma bonding keeps occurring, it's not like you've just had one or two kind of traumas that occur and that bond you. It happens on a regular basis, either daily, weekly, or at least monthly. So what do? How can you break free if you are physically addicted to someone? Well, in actual fact, they found that the key to breaking away from trauma bonds is actually social connection. So it's from having friends around you, having people that you can talk to that are safe, having people that you can have a hug with that are safe. Henceforth, this is why the narcissist isolates you, because they know that if you have those things, that you will break free from them. So they physically remove you, they take you out of the state to an isolated spot, they take you away from your family and friends, they take you, and then, not only do they actually do the physically removing you, but then they also make sure that anyone who comes around, so if you try and create new friendships, what they'll do is they'll, cause scenes, create a drama, try and crack on to your new girlfriend, they'll do all kinds of devious little maneuvers and tactics, but all in all, the main underlying theme is they're trying to keep control of your social scene. They have to have control of it at all times. You're not allowed to have friends. They don't want you having friends that they can't control. So you'll find that you might have friends, but they're probably his friends. They're probably not actually your friends. They're probably not people that you can actually talk to honestly and openly about him. They're probably not people that you feel safe with, and they're probably certainly not people that you could hug and get help from. But that's what you need. You need to have human connection to break a trauma bond. So now, darlings, like I said, I'm going to put the links to the song in the comments. Please feel free to let me know what you think about the song, about the video, and about trauma bonds. If you've been trauma bonded in the past and you found a way of overcoming it, let us know. In fact, anything you've got to say is well and truly appreciated. And thank you to all of you who have been showing me lots of love and support with my channel. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. You're all gorgeous human beings, and I wish I could meet you all in person one day. All right, lovelies, thank you for watching. Good night.